Should check that out on Team Liquid. Huh? Huh? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Like that guy who, STC's in it, right? Like the guy who all killed yesterday. Pretty sure he confirmed for that. It's gonna be in January.
Bomber is also in it.
Aw.
Still waiting on the IM lineup though. I want to actually bug them while they're online after this game.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We haven't plugged that yet today, and we're in the Ace match, and we're having to wait for the players. So there we go. You should check out the FX Open Invitational number 5.
It's right there.
It's gonna be sick.
All right, I think we're ready, Railcoon.
Yeah, the players are both spamming. Go, 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 go.
There is the countdown timer. Bomber versus Nesty, the ace match for Startale versus IM. This is going to be great.
I'm really excited for this match.
Alright, let's get this going, shall we? Alright, welcome everyone. Ace match time here for the KSL's 2012 opening ceremonies. Round of 4 between Startale and Incredible Miracle. We are going to have IM Nesty up against Startale Bomber. Of course, Nesty at the bottom right-hand position as our blue Zerg. And Bomber, as always, as our red Terran at the top left. Antigua Shipyards is the map, GSL version. Notice the no gold minerals and force cross positions. This is going to be a tough one. I am unstable, joined here by Railcoon. This is the match everybody wanted to see and was praying for, and now we have it. Let's hope it lifts up, it blows our minds. I'm sure it will, though. What do you think, Railcoon?
I'm really excited. I was hoping for this match as well. I mean, I was kind of expecting Nesty to be curious just because he's a monster in Zerg vs. Zerg. His game sense in that matchup is just so ridiculous, as we saw that last game. He completely predicted the mutas without any scouting information. And he just played really, really well. That's generally what he tends to do. He's going to start off with pretty standard opening, nothing crazy going on either side. It looks like Bomber is going to do the same thing, probably gasless expand. So both players can be opening up with something, just standard expansions on Antigua, not really that surprising. But after that, who knows? Like, between these two?
And gasless expand, not really that favorable in this matchup. I think you're confusing yourself there, Railcoon.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but that's alright. We do have a gas finishing up here for Bomber, of course.
Okay, so yeah, he's probably just going to go for Hellions then, because that's the other default.
This is TVZ, not TVP. But
I'm
anyway,
tired.
Excuses.
That's my default excuse.
Even though this tournament actually works quite well for you because it makes you wake up at a normal time.
I'm jet lagged because I'm waking up at a normal time. I'm like, what the hell is going on right now? Why am I awake at 8 a.m.? Like, I'm a gamer. I'm not used to that kind of crap.
The sun hurts me. Alright, so of course we have an expansion coming in here from Bomber. With that gas going into the reactor on the barracks here, doesn't look like we have a factory yet. So we're going to get quite a few Marines out. Most likely a bunker is going to go down in the natural here for Bomber as well. Of course, Nesty sending his overlord in a nice safe path. Doesn't want to get caught off guard. Of course, with the forced cross positions, everyone knows where everyone is anyway. I'm kind of surprised that Bomber hasn't sent out a scout at the moment, because being that cross positions, you can put a little bit of frustration on the Zerg, stopping that 15 hatch going out.
Yeah, you don't see that too often, though, even though it's a possibility. Because a lot of the ways that players like to do that, they don't really like to take the loss of mining time. Because the early stages of the Terran builder are actually kind of tight. So why you don't see scouting SCVs go out very often in most matchups before the barracks. So this command center is actually going to finish up here. Switch into the orbital command. This factory is kind of late because he got that command center a little bit sooner, but it's all right because this allowed him to get a few extra Marines out of this reactor before he switches this.
Notice how
And,
Nesty has not gone for for a very common spine crawler in front of the natural.
What has he seen so far? Because he hasn't actually seen anything to tip him off that that's safe.
No, he has not.
Scouting Zergling just got killed by the Marines right on the ramp, so he still didn't see anything. Now the Marines are actually spreading out and checking for Overlords, it looks like. But Nesty, once again, being really safe with his Overlords, doesn't have really any in position except for this one up at the 12 o'clock, which is ready to come in and scout his base later on. So really intelligent from Nesty. A lot of the Terran players have been specifically hunting down Overlords recently. So he only sent one, got it into a really good place to scout later on, and it's not in a spot where it's really that vulnerable. So
He has got a Roach Warren 50% of the way done though. And a third command center for Bomber. If Nesty makes a lot of roaches and goes for some aggression, this could be really, really dangerous. But look at this, Bomber reading something like that could be dangerous, getting a Marauder out. Looking at his vision, has of course seen nothing at all. So
it's still extremely dangerous. With this quick third command center, his unit count's going to be really low. And if Nesty does actually go for the pressure, oh my god, Baneling Nest too. Like, if he actually goes for something like a Roach Baneling here against this quick third, Bomber's going to struggle to have enough units to hold this off.
Absolutely.
Like, you can see that his bunker is placed very, very defensively up here right next to his command center. And this is actually pretty worrisome for Bomber if Nesty goes through with this.
We got 6 roaches just finishing up now. The Baneling Nest is about to complete as well. The Hellions will get a heads up that this is coming if he is careful. But oh, hang on, Nesty running the Zerglings around the Hellions. And look at this, Bomber trying to chase those down. That will give Nesty the opportunity to bring his roaches out if he wants to and deny the scouting of this by Bomber. But he's actually sitting at the top of his ramp waiting for 6 more roaches. Stim is going to be quite a ways off. It's still about 100 seconds off. 8
more roaches, 10 more Zerglings.
Yep.
Baneling Nest is done. Nesty is going for it. These Hellions are he scans the roaches, but doesn't pull the Hellions back, taking some fire. Now he realizes what's going on. The roaches are charging across the map. The issue is, well, Nesty doesn't have a spine crawler, so if Bomber does this carefully, he might be able to try and sneak around the roaches, toast a few drones, then come back.
Oh, he's found the Zerglings. Nicely done by Bomber. There's still a lot of roaches and Zerglings coming through the middle of the map. 22 more lings in production by Nesty. Bunkers going up frantically by Bomber. There's even a bunker on the high ground here. The Hellions trying to delay this as best they can. And we also have a tank coming out. Siege mode is on the way.
Banelings. 10 of them in production, 2 more being added on top of that. That is so many roaches unstable, and that with the Banelings, this is going to be extremely difficult for Bomber. He's 20 supply behind. Tank is out. Siege mode's not done yet. It's only 3/4 of the way. Roaches, he's thinking about it, but if he waits much longer, Siege mode's going to be done. He wants to attack before Siege mode is finished unstable. This is actually really
Here he goes. He's going up to the left-hand side. Just in case any kind of siege comes forward, the Hellions are running back. The SCVs are coming to try and repair, but there's way too many Banelings. Bomber is actually, look at that, Nesty's not exploding the SCVs. There we go. He is actually saving it to explode around the bunkers. The roaches are coming forward. Siege mode is done, of course, getting a lot of SCVs there. There's still a lot of roaches, but he can't really get up that ramp too well. There's a Marauder in the bunker, pulling up all his SCVs. He will be able to force a lift up of this command center, but with that tank, that's really been a saving grace here for Bomber. He's moving it slightly forward. SCV's coming to try and do some damage to the Marauder from the top of the ramp, as well getting into the fray. More links coming across. There's the lift up of the command center. It is actually burning though.
Oh, there's so many supply depots down here. Bomber built actually a lot of supply depots in his natural, and Nesty's focusing them down with his Zerglings and Roaches. It's actually a really good decision. It's very unusual to have that many supply depots down there, and it's going to cut into the supply of Bomber. The problem is Bomber lost so many units that's not actually going to supply block him. Even though he wants a nice move.
All right,
and
so
now Nesty making his third's going to finish up. Macro Hatch's on the way. That did so much damage. Look at the worker count, 30 to 55. That was... I mean, if Nesty had gone for that sooner and Siege mode hadn't been done, that could have just straight up won the game.
Absolutely.
So Bomber's actually really lucky that Nesty hesitated there.
Stim also finished in the middle of that fight as well, helped him clean up the remaining forces. But as you were saying, it's 33 SCVs to 57. Of course, the third base is up for Nesty. He's got a lot of drones on the way. He's actually going to Lair now, also getting a double Evo chamber. And a good choice for him to know exactly when to cut the aggression and go back into more of a macro side. He's also getting some roaches just in case some Hellions try and run by here to force some frustration for him. And we also have +1 infantry weapons on the way, so it looks like we're going to be, after that early aggression, going to a more standard macro game here, Railcoon.
Yeah, but I mean, you can call it a standard macro game, but Nest's up 20 workers, killed a whole bunch. The main thing is his tech is going to be delayed, so that's going to be the one thing keeping Bomber in this. He's been using that extra mule and the extra command center to build the SVs to stay pretty even on the income. So that's the main problem. And look at this, like, Bomber's army is actually quite strong right now. 4 tanks.
Yep, and because Nesty had to delay on that lair due to the early pressure, he's not going to have Baneling speed. He's not going to have as much as he really wants to deal with this. There is Marauders in the mix. Nesty has Roach speed on the way and plus upgrades. Infestation Pit being started as well now. There's quite a few Roaches, but like you were saying, with that tank count, he's actually going to siege up next to this cliff. The joyous spot for Terrans to put their tanks.
There's only a few Banelings out as well. This is actually extremely dangerous for Nesty. He might have droned up too hard after that attack.
There's a lot of Roaches being...
units coming forward. The tanks are positioned very well. And if he focuses down these Banelings, which he's doing quite nicely, they're not going to kill a whole lot. The Roaches are actually going down very quickly. Oh my god, Nesty getting caught being a little bit too greedy with his drones. Bomber's doing quite a bit here.
But there is more and more Roaches and Lings being pulled out here. He's actually going to do quite well. There's 2 medivacs are running out of energy now, and it's going to be the low econ kind of stuff that we're seeing here is not what Nesty wants to be doing. He needs to try and buy some time. Getting that final Marauder isn't going to go down. Gets picked up by Bomber.
He's actually avoiding the Roach projectiles by lifting it up into the medevac. He doesn't have enough energy to heal it. It does finally go down, and Nesty will clear out this attack, but here comes the reinforcements. Hellions plus another big group of Marines and another tank. Nesty is going to be forced to back off. There are a bunch of Overlords here, which might actually go down as well. No, the Roaches will be able to protect those.
There's no energy on these medivacs, Railcoon. 34 Lings in production, and Nesty has somehow managed to squeeze out Pathogen Glands as well during all of this, and it's taking Bomber's forces quite a while to get over here. While this has all happened, they have evened up in the working counts of Bomber. Well, here goes Nesty, though, trying to pull this off. He's got a lot more units. The tank's being spread quite nicely, but Nesty will actually thwart this. A nice lift up by that tank by Bomber. He's going to get away, but he's trying to run from these Zerglings, and the Marine's actually outrunning the Medivac, so he's not going to be able to pick those up. Nesty is going to pick off quite a few of these units, and there is not much here at home for Bomber here, Railcoon.
He's desperately trying to throw up bunkers once again, like we saw before. We've got just a tug of war going on in the center of the map as both players are going back and forth with their aggression. And if you look at this, Bomber still has not actually had an opportunity to land his command center on his 3rd base.
Yeah.
And that's actually pretty big. It's floating right now, so he's not even using it to mule or make SCVs. He needs to get this over onto the base, but at this point, he can't do that safely, because if he tries, then Nesty's going to force him to lift it off again.
Oh,
so
here it comes.
He's actually coming forward with the Roaches. Surgeon's going to catch all of those SCVs as they transfer. These tanks are actually out in the open as well. This is actually looking quite dangerous for Bomber. And
quite a few Roaches.
Roaches. Now he can swing up into the 3rd base once more Zerglings arrive and probably do some damage. There's one Zergling here just picking away at the SCVs.
He's actually getting a couple of kills too. Nicely done. Going straight to Hive. Of course, +1 vehicle weapons is going to start to make more of an impact against these Roaches as they do clump up quite nicely for Bomber to be able to deal with. Bomber is down 40 supply, but 30 of that is actually in the work account, so it's still looking okay for him. Lots of Zerglings being moved across here by Nesty. 6 Infestors on the way. 2-2 for his Lings as well. Taking down these rocks is definitely what he wants to do right now. He's going to spread Bomber's defenses out very thinly and then just pick one point to push through with all of his forces. What do you say?
Scared unstable. Nesty's going for Hive and he doesn't have a Spire down, so he might be switching into Ultras.
Quite possible. Also, because of the 2-2 upgrades for the Lings, he's getting quite a few Lings here. It could be for the Cracklings as well. Of course, we got a drop over here at the 3rd base. Does get force and pull off those drones. And nice fungal by Nesty to clean that up. Looking at the resources lost here, 39 workers killed for Nesty.
Thing is, Ultras are just so hard to use correctly because you have to attack at the exact perfect moment against the Terran.
There was also a drop in the main as you were saying that as well. I was just poking back to the resources. Was cleaned up.
It's just really tough because they're so expensive, they're so big, they're so bulky. If you wind up losing those ultras in a bad moment, it will almost always lose you the game. So it's a very risky tech switch. But he hasn't actually made the Ultralisk Cavern right now. There it is. He's making it in his main base. He is going for the Ultras, and that's the thing, is you have to have the perfect game sense to use the Ultras in this matchup. And if anybody can do that, well, Nestea. So we'll see if he can actually pull this off, but it's just very difficult. Bomber's actually pushing up with this large force, but that is a lot of units for Nestea. If he gets a good attack in on this, he should be able to figure it out.
Does pick up those few Marines at the front. But Bomber is nicely spread out. He's actually got 2-2 upgrades on his Marines. Tanks, look at this spread. It's absolutely perfect here from Bomber.
So many tanks. Oh my god.
We do have Adrenal Glands on the way as well as the +3 upgrades for these Zerglings. And there's some Fungals. The Terran's coming out first as Nestea pushes forward. There are so many Zerglings. Look at that. He's target firing down the tanks with these. And it looks a lot very close here, but I don't... It's going to be very, very close here, Railgun.
Getting a very good hit off.
Yeah.
Nestea did his best. He targeted down the tanks with the Zerglings separately. He did a good job. But now these Marines are actually far away. A Bomber unsieged his last tank. So Nestea actually is going to be able to force him away.
Needs to lift up that tank.
Bomber was going to hold it. And now this tank's going to go down, running right into the reinforcements in the center of the map. Nestea will have to back off, but there are a few Ultralisks on the way, more Infestors being produced, 3-3 upgrades, and the Adrenal Glands.
Oh, but the tank's on siege!
A little bit longer. He does get the 2 tanks, then backs off, but he doesn't have really any more Fungals or Banelings, so he has to buy some time here unstable.
Yeah, he's actually losing Banelings being morphed here at the moment. Lots of Marines in the third base for Nestea. Oh, an Infestor gets popped as well. He's going to lose a lot of these drones. Coming in with Roaches from behind, but these Marines are already spread out here for Bomber. He's actually taken the supply lead. Infested Terrans going down as well. Lost a lot of drones. 6 Ultras in production. They take so long to build though, Railgun. It's actually popped right at that third base, doing as much damage as he can. Gonna lose that hatchery though.
Ultra's gonna die too if he focuses with those Marines. No, he's actually just gonna lift it up and fly away. And actually, I think at least 2 Infestors finished and then died before Nestea could even fungal there at the third base. That was actually really clutch focus fire from Bomber, popping those Infestors immediately. And now Nestea's in that difficult situation of where he has the Ultralisks, but he does not have the supporting army for them. There's not enough Zerglings, there's only a couple Infestors. And this is why I said I was scared when he was switching into Ultras, because now he's in a really tough position. He doesn't have the proper resources to make these Ultras work.
Bomber is also scouting every possible expansion location with 2 Marines on either side of the map, just in case Nestea tries to steal one of those bases for himself. He is down to pretty much half a mining base at the moment. Bomber's still going strong at his third base that is secured now. There's a bunker just in case something happens. And look at this, Bomber is ready for any kind of counterattack, spread quite nicely. Is at 2-2, almost going to be +3 attack. Concussive shells now being researched as well, because he's starting to mix in a lot of Marauders into it because of this Ultralist transition from Nestea. And he's actually retreated to his base. I think he realized he got a very strong lead there and doesn't want to give it away.
Yeah, I think he's also aware of the fact that Nestea's in a position where he has to attack. Like, Nestea, this army probably isn't going to do it, but if he sits back and goes for a longer game, Bomber's going to be pulling farther and farther ahead. So you can see he's positioning himself into a spot where he's going to go for it. Bomber's setting himself up in the perfect defensive position and just waiting for the inevitable attack from Nestea.
Look at this, Bomber moving very cautiously forward. He knows there's no extra bases because he's still got those Marines patrolling. And looks like he's going to poke up this ramp and see the army, trying to bait him into this good positioning that he's got going on. Nestea's third base is back up and running here, though.
Yeah, Bomber trying to do what we've seen a few other players doing recently, sending forward some Marauders to try and pick off stray Infestors, but wasn't quite able to do that. The Ultralisk protecting them effectively, and Bomber's actually forcing Nestea off this watchtower with this slow push forward. The Ultra's actually coming forward into the tank line, taking some fire. Queens are off creep. They might go down. Oh, barely gonna slip away.
Nice transfuse.
That transfusion.
But here's the thing, he's still down like 70 supply, and Bomber moving forward, I think he's realized the army of Nestea isn't as big as he thought it was. Moving forward in force, he is bunched up though. Fungals could do quite a bit of damage if he catches him while he's on siege. Scan down on the army here for Nestea, and Bomber is at 185 supply, almost maxed out. He is going to be sitting back? He's just slowly going forward, not giving Nesty a chance. There's some nice bungles. And it looks like Nesty's going to go for it with the ultras from the right-hand side. But oh my god, a lot of those infestants just pop instantly. And Nesty's forces are just absolutely melting. Mana Mule as well. There's the GG. Startale takes out I Am with Bomber defeating Nesty in the final ace match to take down the round of 4 for the KSL. That was a game to end this team. Oh my god.
That's the thing, is Nesty just didn't have the right units to support those ultras. And Bomber got himself into the position where Nesty couldn't attack from the proper angle. He had to move through that choke point. And then once Bomber gets that far forward, there's really no way that's going to work. So it was a really good game. Bomber just playing super solid. And Nesty just happened to take really heavy losses right when he's switching into the ultras. It's a really dangerous tech transition.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Bomber caught him at the perfect time.
Alrighty, so congratulations to Startale taking out I Am. Both these guys gave it their all today. So thank you for tuning in for the KSL. We're going to be not back tomorrow because it's we got 2 days off, I believe, as we wait for New Year's to pass across. But that doesn't mean that you can't check out the VODs of this that I will be putting up on YouTube in the next hour or so. So catch those out if you want to catch any of the games. Of course, MVP versus Parting was definitely a game to watch as well.
Oh my god, yeah.
So
that was a good match.
You can catch those on youtube.com/FXOpenEsports as well as on the own channel there as well for the KSL. I was unstable taking with Railkin for all this one. I'm getting tired now considering it's like 1:30 in the morning.
I noticed, but you should also check out the FX Open Invitational Series coming up in January. It's going to be pretty awesome. We've got a lot of really good players confirmed for that. Still waiting on a few more of the teams to confirm on who they're sending, but we'll have those posted once we have it. And there's a link to that in the IRC topic if you're in IRC.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so we are all done for tonight. Congratulations to Startale yet again, going 6-5 against I Am. Great matches the entire night. Couldn't have asked for more, to be honest. They were all really close, really entertaining, good strategy. Even started off with a bang and ended with 1-2. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We will be back for the next KSL, which I believe will be OGS against
MVP.
MVP. Thank you, Railcoon.
On Monday.
On Monday, yes. Yes, after New Year's. It's kind of like I was going into it thinking casting every day this week, cool, it might get a bit tiring, but now I want to keep going. I don't want to break for the next series. God damn it.
I know. That was such a good game at the end. Just want to keep going.
Alrighty. So we're going to finish this up. I'm going to take this off Team Liquid now, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And I have to go pack all my girlfriend's stuff because she's going on back to Australia for 3 weeks. Yeah, not having a work visa yet. It's awesome.
That's sick. Are we muted?
Not yet.
Are you just talking to the chat?
I'm just telling people what's happening because I haven't shut the stream down. I'm still trying to wait for the owned VOD cut to stop. You know how it sometimes delays because it's been a really long cast?